GMM nonstick coatings provides the coatings that are used by some of the world's biggest makers of pots, pans, and bakeware. But the CEO says that trade uncertainty is already causing his large American clients to produce less. Ravin Gandhi, the CEO of GMM nonstick coatings, joins us right now from Chicago. So great to have you back with us, Ravin. Give us a sense. We've talked to you before. How much worse is it today than it was 6 months ago in terms of your business because of the U.S.-China trade dispute?
So I was on the show, I believe, a couple months ago, and I was quite optimistic at that point. But really, in the last 8 weeks, we've seen a lot of our big customers slashing orders across the board. And I can only point to the trade uncertainty. And I believe there was a big report that came out recently from Target where they said they are not taking any price increases from anyone impacted by the tariffs. Every one of my household name American clients produces in China, and so prices are going up. So what's actually interesting is a lot of my big clients are now coming to us, the tier 2 suppliers, saying, can you reduce prices? Because they're trying to make their margin. And unfortunately for us, costs are going up this year. So there are a few pretty big tectonic forces at play. And I really think that if what I'm reporting to you is true in the aggregate, there might be some dark clouds on the horizon.
Well, that suggests, Ravin, if that happens, and we don't know, but if that happens, that's really pressure on the margin because somebody has to eat that extra cost no matter what. And that could actually reflect itself in earnings down the road and also potentially even in layoffs.
Oh, I mean, without a doubt. I mean, I just was listening to your previous guest, and she made the point that the consumer does not like price increases. And I think that margins are going to suffer, but ultimately, in the end, capitalism pretty much predicts that these cost increases are going to end up with the consumer. Our president likes to say that China's paying for these tariffs, but it's basically anyone who shops in America is paying for these tariffs. And if, I hope it does not happen, but inflation is a tremendous force that could hurt the economy. In 2008, nobody saw the recession coming until everybody saw it. And then when you relitigated it backwards, you saw all the causes. I think if we did have a recession later in 2019 or in 2020, this whole trade drama would certainly be one of the precipitants.
The pattern over the last 18 months has been back and forth, but basically not in a good direction when it comes to U.S.-China trade negotiations. We hear again now there are going to be negotiations next month in Washington. We'll see where that goes. At the same time, this could be reversed fairly quickly, and there are some people who speculate that President Trump, as he gets close to the election, will decide he doesn't need this trade dispute for political purposes. How fast could it be reversed? In fact, President Trump said, okay, we're going to come to terms. We'll get some things on the Chinese, not everything we would like, but let's put this behind us. How quickly could it get reversed, or are supply chains being changed permanently?
For sure, supply chains are being changed permanently. I'm dealing with it in my company. We have operations all over the world. We are seeing a lot of business leaving China, going to India, going to Malaysia, going to Vietnam. People are firing real bullets. They are letting certain Chinese factories go, standing up in other places. So on one hand, that is absolutely permanent. Personally, I hope, if what you're saying is true, maybe President Trump and presidency have some kind of a bat phone and they're speaking secretly, and they both are agreeing that we're gonna get a deal in Q1 of 2020 and look like heroes. I honestly hope that's true because we need that deal. But what it comes down to is they are causing a lot of uncertainty in this global trade, and they are really firing real bullets.
So Ravin, President Trump has said he's happy with supply chains being changed because people ought to come back to the United States and manufacture things. They're going to leave China to come to the United States. Do you see any of that in your business at all?
100% no. I mean, that is something I can't even believe that people listen to. And this president has an unbelievably genius-like talent of convincing people of things that are just not true. I mean, across the aisle, okay, left, right, or center, we can all agree that China has been a bad actor. So China needs to be, treated in a certain way. But the notion that what the president did vis-a-vis the tariffs is bringing jobs back to America is just false on its face. It's American consumers who are paying for these tariffs, and he likes to demonize all global business, but I think something like almost 50% of all the sales of the S&P 500 go to other countries. So I really think it's amazing that he's been able to pull it off so far.
Okay, Ravin, really great to be with you here in your home city. That's Ravin Gandhi. He's the CEO of GMM Nonstick Coatings.